This week on the Road with Mickey, the best tourist destinations for North Carolina.
We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go. We're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie.
And he's Grogu.
That's
I
right.
promise we're not getting used to Aunt Brenda being absent. It's just, ugh, I, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm missing her, and I don't want to complain too much about it.
Yes, but this is the last week that she won't be here with us. Next week, she will be back and with us, and we are so excited.
Thank
Until then,
goodness.
though, yes, thank goodness. Until then, though, we do have one last video to share of her, and she's walking the streets of Italy.
Oh,
So
wow.
take a look at this video. I just loved it. So enjoy. Roll the film.
We are on a tour in Taormina, Italy. Beautiful.
The two inside. Maybe you can go one by one and come back.
She's talking specifically about the narrow passes right here. Very narrow. This whole area is beautiful. Beautiful. They have the most beautiful bougainvillea and everything around here. The flowers are just gorgeous. It's probably high 60s today, you think, for temperature? It's beautiful. A lot of shopping around here. Dolce Gabbana, Giorgio Armani, Bulgari. A lot of shopping here.
What did you think of that, Sophie?
I think that was stunning. It was amazing. And I think we were so caught up in talking about it that we forgot to mention that we're on the road with Mickey.
That's right. But we are on the road with Mickey.
Yes, we are.
This is episode 268 for June 2nd, 2025. We are already in June. That means
It's my
3 weeks.
birthday month.
3 weeks.
Well, that
Sophie.
too.
Sophie will be in FLA.
Yes. But more importantly, right now, it's my birthday month. So everybody wish me happy birthday, even though we are 17 days out.
That's right. Happy birthday, Sophie.
Thank you. Anyway.
Anyway, Our feature topic this week is the best tourist destinations for North Carolina. We are doing a little regional look at North Carolina since we both live there, and
Hmm.
we are going to give you a list. We have 10 locations for you to come see and enjoy for yourself. But
Yes.
before we get into that, though, we have some cheddar from the big cheese, and we have two really neat pieces of cheddar. So I'm going to start us off this week.
Okay.
All right. Well, last May 28th, Industrial Light and Magic, ILM, celebrated its 50th anniversary as a company. The
Ooh.
company, as we all know, was founded by George Lucas, and it has been on the cutting edge of visual effects and was created initially for the creation of Star Wars.
No
Wow.
wonder it is so amazing.
Yes, and 50 years later, it is still amazing. And the things that they
Yes.
do, it just boggles my mind. So,
Well,
congratulations to ILM.
yes, congratulations. And keep on making amazing things that blow our minds because you've got a giant reputation to live up to.
That's right.
Well, as for me and my cheddar, we're talking about a new live action movie from Disney that has taken the box office by storm, I would say.
Hmm.
Lilo and Stitch opened over the Memorial Day weekend and debuted as the #1 film globally. It made $182.7 million in sales in North America and a very impressive $361.3 million worldwide. Have you seen it yet? I know I have. I know my dad has. And
Yep.
as a Publix cake decorator, we have been getting so many Lilo and Stitch cakes ordered over the past weeks or so.
Yeah. It's good movie. They did a really well job, really good
They
job with
did.
it.
They did. I
So,
think so too. I've seen some people complaining about it. I have to disagree. I think they took a more realistic approach to the story than the animated one did, which is to be expected because animation is just more magical,
hmm, yeah,
but it was very well done.
yes, I enjoyed it. I'm glad we went and saw it.
Hmm.
So, all right. Well, that is our cheddar from the big cheese. And now, just a quick reminder, you can connect with us on our Facebook page, On the Road with Mickey. Our Facebook group is the On the Road with Mickey group. The YouTube channel, hello, listeners, viewers, watchers. You're going to enjoy this episode because we have a lot of show and tell. Um, our Instagram channel is On the Road with Mickey. Email us. You can email us at info@ontheroadwithmickey.com. And you can go to our website for all of that information is also on the roadwithmickey.com. So don't forget to check us out over the interweb.
All right.
Well, our feature topic is the best tourist destinations for North Carolina. We have a list of 10. Um, and Sophie, do we want to give the whole list or just start with the first one and then go in?
I say we start with the first one and work our way down because if we gave this whole list again, because I've already read it through twice before we started recording, it is a bit of a mouthful.
Okay. Well, why don't you start with the first one and tell us a little bit about it while I
Okay.
share an image of it?
All right then. Well, the first item on our list is called the Biltmore Estate. It is over near Asheville, North Carolina. And what this estate is, it's a historical site. It is the largest privately owned house and estate in the state of North Carolina. It was built by the Vanderbilt family. It is also the most expensive house privately owned in the state. And I have not been there in quite some time, but it is a beautiful, beautiful building. The last time I was there was I was in elementary school, I believe,
Yeah.
and the most that I retained from that visit was that they have an like Olympic-sized swimming pool and a bowling alley in the basement. And keep in mind, this is a historical building. So at the time when this was being built, those two things were rather state of the art. They were
Yes.
the newest things.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the image that we're sharing is of the main entrance. This is just part of it because to your left, as you're looking, they also have a very beautiful garden area, and further on the property they have a winery and other buildings that you can do things in. But it is really cool, and one of the neatest things that I've been able to experience is their decorations at Christmas. They have candlelight Christmas tours
Hmm.
that they decorate the entire house for Christmas. They open it up at night and they have different choral groups that come in and perform from the local area. Each night is a different group. And so you get to tour the house at night while they're doing this, and you get to see it all decorated for Christmas. It is absolutely stunning. So
It is.
totally
I think
worth
I
seeing.
remembered there was a little village that's near the estate, and we went there as well. And I think while we were there, I learned how to do the grape stomping to make wine.
That's right. You did. You did. So,
It was
Biltmore,
very, very nasty.
well, for
It
your feet,
was.
for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Um, so, Biltmore is our first one that we have on our list.
Hmm.
And the second
It
one,
really is the closest thing you would ever get to finding a castle in the Americas, I think.
yes, I think so
Well,
too.
at the very least in North Carolina.
Yeah. The
Anyway.
second option, the second one on our list, it kind of goes a little bit hand in hand with Biltmore because if you're in the Biltmore area, you are in Asheville, North Carolina, which is the western part of the state,
Hmm.
and it's right near the mountains and the Blue Ridge Parkway. So the next one that I wanted to focus on is the Blue Ridge Parkway. I have a very short video, I mean, not video, window picture to show, um, just so that you can see kind of what we're looking at. So we have
Is
the
that
Blue Ridge.
me?
We have little Sophie back in 2010, and we are walking down this pathway to go towards the falls, and that is Sophie as just a little tyke. And yes, she's in elementary school. So so we were just walking down to visit this, and this is just one of the things that you can see along the Blue Ridge Parkway because the Blue Ridge Parkway has so much information. It's so much space and land mass and everything that you can't talk about it all. But getting out in nature and being able to see all these things is just phenomenal. So if you
Yeah.
are in the area and you're going to Biltmore, spend a day and go looking at some of the attractions along the Blue Ridge Parkway because it's a
Hmm.
very picturesque drive and it's well worth your time.
Now keep in mind it will take you all the way from really right near the tip of where North Carolina meets Tennessee. It will take you all the way from there up into Virginia. So make sure you're not driving the entire Blue Ridge Parkway, or else you will probably get lost.
Yeah, because in so the Blue Ridge Parkway, um,
Follows the Blue Ridge Mountains.
yes, and up in Front Royal, Virginia, where it starts, it's actually called the Skyline Drive, and it goes
Hmm.
that way until we get to, I can't remember the exact name of it, um, when it changes and becomes the Blue Ridge Parkway, but it's about midway through Virginia, and it keeps going down into North Carolina, and all the way up, I think even all the way down almost to the end of North Carolina before you get out of the Blue Ridge Parkway. So
Yeah.
so there's a lot to it. So yeah, make sure you know which way you're driving and where you want to drive so you don't get
Yeah.
lost.
Definitely. Well then, the next item on our list is not near Asheville at all, but it is another historical place, and that is called Old Salem. And you've heard me talk about Old Salem before if you've been a listener of this channel for a while. Um, Old Salem is very near and dear to my heart. Once again, it is a place that I visited in elementary school, but of course, Old Salem is far closer to Raleigh than Asheville is because it's in Winston-Salem, which is
hmm
about, I want to say,
90 minutes or so.
yeah, hour and a half drive from us. So it's still a bit of a drive to get there. It's best to be made into like a day trip, but it is
hmm
well worth it. Um, and what Old Salem is, it is a historical restoration of a
Yes.
historical community that has been in North Carolina for a very, very, very long time. We're talking like colonial age. It's been there.
Yeah.
And specifically, Old Salem is the known, it is like the poster of the Moravians in North Carolina.
hmm
And the reason why the Moravians are so important to me and to my family is because we are Methodists. That's our Christian denomination, also called Wesleyans because our founder, John Wesley, was the one who founded Methodism, of course, but he actually took a lot of inspiration for our customs from the Moravian Church. The biggest thing that he adopted from the Moravian Church is called the Love Feast. It's a Christmas tradition for us. It is all about fellowship and community with your fellow church members. You
hmm
go into the church, you share a simple meal of a sticky bun and some hot cider. You sing Christmas carols. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And Old Salem, the Moravians, were the ones who actually started it off. So we
Yeah.
like to go to Old Salem, especially during Christmas time. The picture that my dad has pulled up is actually of the bakery in the town. It's called Winkler's Bakery.
hmm
They make absolutely delicious baked goods. My favorite thing from them is their sugar loaves, which is their version of the sticky bun. We have our own recipe. Theirs is the original, but they also make like ginger snap cookies. Daddy really loves those. And whenever you walk in, you can just get the warmth from the oven, which is right there by the door, and all of the delicious things that are baking in there. It
Yeah.
is pure historical comfort.
Yes, and it is phenomenal.
It
So,
is. There is almost always a line out the door, especially in Christmas time, but year round, basically, of people waiting to get in and buy the things that they make there.
yeah. Yeah. And so Old Salem, Winston-Salem, North Carolina is third on our list, and it's a
Hmm.
really good place to go visit. And it's just phenomenal, you know. Um, the next on our list is the North Carolina Zoo, located in Asheboro, North Carolina. So that is a zoological park that is almost second to none because they have a North America section and they have a Africa
Africa
section,
section.
and it is quite a hike to go from the beginning to the end and back. Um,
Hmm.
and they have so many exhibits and so much land mass that they're using for it that it's just phenomenal. So this picture that I'm sharing is of a giraffe, and it is it's just a simple giraffe, but they have so much to see and do in that area. They have a reptile house, they have
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of different things. You can see the gorillas and the monkeys and the elephants and the lions and on and on and on and on. So,
Yeah. Think of it as Animal Kingdom, but in North Carolina. That's
yeah,
basically the way to describe it. And of course, without the rides and stuff, but you've got everything else. I have been to two of the most popular zoos in the country, that being the San Diego Zoo and also the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. And neither of them compare to this one. This one is amazing.
yeah. It is it houses 1,700 animals, 250 species, and um 2,800 acres in size. So quite a bit. They said it's about 5 miles of walking trails. So if you go there, be prepared to walk. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot to it, but it's a really neat place to go visit and to see. And they do a really good job of making sure that the animals have all the space they need to be able to um,
Thrive.
thrive in their environment. So,
Yeah.
all right. So next on our list is the Wright Brothers Memorial, which is in Kill Devil Hills, Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Um, the Wright brothers obviously are Orville and Wilbur Wright, and they are the ones that first took to flight and had a meaningful flight in
Mm-hmm.
an airplane, and that was back in 1903, I believe.
You could
And
argue they're the ones who invented it.
yeah, um, so the picture that we're showing is the monument where they took off from. That's the area, that's the hill where they took off from.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a flight of some distance. I don't remember the exact distance, but it was far enough that they proved that it worked. And and if you go up there and you go to visit the Brothers Memorial, you can see that they took off from the top of a hill, and it's actually somewhat hilly where they were, so they were able to get enough air and to make it work. Um, and so it that's why I shared this picture, because it's up on top of the hill, and this picture I took it
Yeah.
when we were down at the bottom. So we've been there, we have seen it, and there's usually like a $10 charge to get in, but depending on the time of year, sometimes they do not have the cost, and it's free to get in depending on the time of year and if there's anything special that they're wanting to commemorate. Um so
Well, Daddy, I did find out how long that flight was. So there were actually four flights that were made that day, and that day being December 17th, 1903. The first flight was piloted by Orville, and that covered 120 feet in 12 seconds. The longest flight that had been made was the fourth and the final one, and that one covered 852 feet in 59 seconds, and that was made later that same day.
okay, so there you go. Thank you, Sophie.
You're
And
welcome.
I don't have a picture of it, but when you're up there, they have it marked out, and they have places marked of where they landed on each of their flights. And
Mm-hmm.
so you can see how far down it goes. Um, so it obviously was just the beginning, but it was a good start, and that happened in North Carolina.
Yes.
All right, so next on our list is a place that I have not been to,
Neither have
but
I.
I have seen it from the road. I've never been on it, and it is a commemoration of World War II. And in North Carolina, the battleship USS North Carolina was a World War II battleship that that they fought on during the war. And after the war ended, they brought it back, and located in Wilmington, North Carolina. And as you can see Wilmington just beyond where it's docked, and it is a historic site worth going to see. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we have to put it on our list, I think, at some point to try and do that because it's good to remember the sacrifices that so many people made, especially last weekend being Memorial Day weekend, um, or the week before. So it's important to remember all that and just think about it and remember where we came from. So
Yes.
so that is a totally worthwhile thing to go and visit if you are coming to North Carolina and you're planning a visit. As you can see, there are a lot of things, and we're still not even done yet, but
No.
there's a lot of things that you can do that you can spend quite a bit of time in North Carolina going to see all these things. Um, One of the things to remember is that um, it's about 450 miles from the eastern part of North Carolina to the western part of North Carolina. So there's quite a bit of space um, with regards to being able to see everything. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. But a good thing to know is that, of course, the USS Battleship is in Wilmington. But the next thing on our list is also near Wilmington, and that is the North Carolina Aquarium at Fort Fisher. So another thing that you really should do is you ought to just make a day trip to a lot of these places. I actually kind of want to make a day trip with Jonathan to Wilmington, maybe a 2-day trip possibly for a long weekend. And I think it would be a really good idea to visit this specific aquarium. There are tons of aquariums in North Carolina. Most of them are located on the coastal side of the state, which obviously is where Wilmington is. But this one is specifically the one located at Fort Fisher. I believe I have been here a couple of times, mainly with my cousins, because
Mhm.
they owned a beach house that they visited every summer or so. And so I came to stay with them for a week or so. And this was one of the things that we went and we looked at when we
Mhm.
weren't busy playing around in the sand.
That's right. And just for a little perspective, Wrightsville Beach and Wilmington area where the battleship are and Fort Fisher are just a short distance away, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour. I don't know the
Hmm.
exact. Um, in addition, the Wright Brothers Memorial that we talked about previously is further north. It's closer to the Virginia line, so it's about 3 hours away, probably because of the traffic and the travel and the roads and whatnot. But in between all of that is a huge number of little beach towns that
Hmm.
that you may want to maybe break up your trip to North Carolina into a couple different areas. Like maybe you spend a few days and you're spending it on the eastern part of the state, looking at the beaches and the memorial and the battleship and the aquarium and everything that you can see there. And then a second trip to plan, maybe from Winston-Salem and heading west, because Winston-Salem to Asheboro is probably about an hour, hour and a half. So that
Yeah.
would cover the zoos, and then another couple hours from Winston-Salem to get to Asheville.
Hmm.
So you could probably make that kind of a journey in a few days as well. Um,
Certainly.
so maybe break it up that way. But yeah, the I've never been to the Fort Fisher Aquarium. I've been to Fort Fisher area,
Hmm.
but I haven't been to the actual aquarium. So yeah, I know that Sophie went with her cousin and they had a
Anna
good time.
Jane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that is definitely one to look at. The next thing I want to share, I'm taking us back out west, and we have two items left on our list. And
We have three,
one,
Daddy. You skipped Poland Park.
oh, I did skip Pullen Park. Should I talk about that first, or should we save that for last? Let's save that for last.
Yeah, because that's the closest to home.
Yeah. So I'm going back out west. I'm going back into the mountains in North Carolina, and I am taking us to Mount Mitchell, which Mount Mitchell is the highest mountain east of the Mississippi River, and it is 6,684 feet. And this little fun little sign is the restaurant that is located at Mount Mitchell. It's a sign there. And you are now at the highest restaurant on the East Coast if you go to eat there. 6,684 feet. And it is phenomenal to see the views. I need to go back and get better pictures because I was having trouble finding my pictures that looked halfway decent. Um, so that's why I went with this one. But yeah, the idea of being almost 7,000 feet above sea level, um, and to know that in North Carolina, that is the highest point east of the Mississippi River. So in the eastern part of the United States is just kind of phenomenal to me. So Mount Mitchell is a location that I highly recommend. And again, it's part of the Blue Ridge Parkway area. So you can be on the Blue Ridge Parkway and make a side trip over to Mount Mitchell and see it all in part of that same journey. So,
Yeah. And of course, while we're talking about that, we can't forget about Grandfather Mountain as well, since that was listed in the same bullet point.
yeah, yeah,
These mountains, they are beautiful, and
yeah,
each of them has their own little state park that surrounds them.
yeah,
And I don't think I've ever been to Grandfather Mountain, but Daddy insisted we talk about it.
yes. Um, So I talked about them in conjunction because of the state parks that are there. And and if you think about it, the I don't have the picture of it, but there are hundreds of state parks in North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and they all have some value and some benefit to checking out. So there is so much to see and do from a parks perspective in North Carolina, that it's worth making the trip. That's why we're talking about it today. But the next one that I wanted to talk about before we get to Pullen Park is um, the whitewater rafting in on the Nantahala River, which is
That's
um,
close to Mommy's heart.
yeah, and that is located in the southwest part of North Carolina, um, and it is it's one of the rapids that your mommy has been on
Mm-hmm.
and has rafted on that. And they have a lot of other things. And this picture doesn't do justice because it's really the building where one of the restaurants is. But but you could see the water of the Nantahala River, and and further up as you get into the mountains, then it's obviously a little bit more rapid and so forth. So they take people up in the rafts and they drive up and then they come back down on the raft and they make a grand adventure of it. And I've never been whitewater rafting, but it's on my list of things to do one day.
Maybe, maybe in a few years or so, we should all make a trip and try to go.
Yeah, yeah. But um I think what it shows though is that there's a lot to see and do and a lot of different things that you can see and do in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So, and that, Sophie, takes us to
To
our
Poland Park.
Pullen Park. Yeah. And why
Um,
don't you talk about that?
I will. Let me pull up a picture of it.
I've got one right here.
Okay, cool. Poland Park, well, that's the train that goes through Poland Park. Poland
Yes.
Park is probably the No, it's not probably. It is the smallest destination on our list, namely because this park is actually situated right near downtown Raleigh.
Hmm.
So it is indeed the closest destination to home. I've been to Pullen Park many, many times. It
Yes.
is a place that my cousins, namely Stephanie, who comes to visit me a lot with her two children, they like to take them to Pullen Park because Pullen Park has, like, you have the playground, you have a carousel, you have the train, of course, and there are walking trails there. It's all very small, but it's very, very fun too.
Yeah. Um,
And
Pullen
it is,
Park.
yeah.
Pullen Park was established in 1887.
Mm-hmm.
It has the train that obviously is near and dear to my heart that you buy tickets for, and the tickets are $1 each.
Yep,
So you could throw $100 and be on that train all day practically, and you won't have to.
probably,
But you could probably
probably
buy,
more.
yeah. But it also has an old-fashioned carousel, and it has dining places you can buy food and eat, and they have
Mm-hmm.
picnic tables, and they have playground equipment, and they have walking trails, and you can the water there, you can go over and get the little paddle boats that you pedal with
That
your
are shaped
feet.
like swans.
Yeah, and you can just do a whole lot of different things. One of the neat things is that they also decorate it very nicely at Christmas time,
Mm-hmm.
and they have lights and action and different events at night there during the Christmas season, and it's just absolutely phenomenal and beautiful. And the fact that it's from 1887 and it's sitting right here right in Raleigh, about 5 miles from our house, is just really, really neat. So,
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, that carousel is actually the original one. It's just been through a lot of restoration over the
hmm
years.
hmm
And now, it did not used to be like this. It used to be an open air carousel, so it was outside. Now they have built a building around the carousel, so it's indoors, but that's just to keep it from like being exposed to the elements and facing any more wear and tear. But the horses, the horses and whatnot are still the same ones that were on there originally. They've just been restored and like repainted and whatnot.
yeah, yeah. And um, I have a video somewhere of the Pullen Park Railroad. So,
Hmm.
in our YouTube channel, I will find the
Yeah,
link and I'll share it actually in the YouTube video so you can click over to it if you like. But yeah, it's just really a great environment, and that carousel is phenomenal, and it has been through a lot of restoration, but it might be older than even the park itself.
it might
So
be.
so anyway, that is our 10 destinations that we think are the best in North Carolina. So, the question is, how many of you have been to North Carolina, and how many of these destinations have you seen? And what did we miss? If you are in North Carolina, what did we miss that needs to be included on the list?
I
So,
imagine someone's going to say the Charlotte area. We didn't even touch on that.
yeah, yeah. But anyway, so let us know. Give us a comment, shoot us an email or whatever, and just let us know what you thought and what needs to be seen and what we need to go check out also.
Hmm.
So, but that is our feature topic. So now it is time for this day in Disney history for June 2nd. So, Sophie, take it away.
All right, I'm going to preface this right now. What I'm talking about, this Disney history, has absolutely nothing to do with what we talked about today, and that's to be expected because we were talking about North Carolina and not Florida or California, but that's okay. Um, the year is 1989. Very good year, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And June 2nd, of course, Touchstone Pictures, part of Disney's Buena Vista Entertainment family, releases Dead Poets Society to limited theaters. Starring Robin Williams, the film takes place at a conservative and aristocratic boys' prep school and tells the story of an English teacher named John Keating who inspires his students to change their lives of conformity through his teaching of poetry and literature. The cast includes Robert Sean Leonard, Ethan Hawke, Josh Charles, Norman Lloyd, and Kurtwood Smith. Dead Poets Society will win the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. The film will be generally released on June 9th. I actually watched that in school and I thought it was very good.
Oh, I loved Dead Poets Society. I thought it was
hmm
superbly done. So,
And I just like Robin Williams, so
yeah. Yeah. What a great actor. He is missed.
he is.
All right. Well, that was great history. Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you.
All right. It's time to stump the Soph. I almost had her last week. Right? Right? Almost.
No comment. Let's go.
I don't think
Carpe
this one will
diem,
be.
Daddy.
Seize
Focus
the day.
on today.
Okay.
Exactly. Not the past.
So this character is the most overprotective parent.
There are actually a lot of overprotective parents in Pixar.
Okay. This character went on a journey to find someone.
It is, but you like it when I draw it out.
You can tell me, because I don't have much on him or her.
His name is Marlin, and he's from Finding Nemo.
Did you know it with the first clue?
Yes, I kind of figured. But I was giving you a chance because I'm like, there are a lot of overprotective parents. It's probably Marlin, but let's draw this out just a little.
Yeah, it is definitely Marlin from Finding Nemo and Finding Dory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you know that clownfish live in the Indian and Pacific Oceans?
Mm-hmm.
You did? I didn't.
Yeah, I knew.
Okay. All right. Well, it is Marlin from Finding Nemo. So, good job, Sophie.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was a little anticlimactic, I would say.
Sorry, Daddy.
That's okay. Sometimes it's hard to find good stuff. But
I love you.
love you too. So it is now time to close this out with a little bit of Walt. And I thought, since we've been talking about getting into the outdoors and all these places to see in North Carolina, that a quote about nature from Walt was very apropos. And he said, "I don't like formal gardens. I like wild nature. It's just the wilderness instinct in me, I guess." Quote by Walt Disney.
I wonder what he would have thought of Biltmore then.
He probably would have liked to seen it once.
Hmm.
But he
But it
probably would have
wouldn't-
liked the Blue Ridge Parkway and everything perhaps better.
Probably.
I don't know. Anyway,
Well then.
well, coming up next week, Brenda's back. Yay!
Yes, finally. Finally.
We have missed her, and I am going to put her on the spot right away because we are going to hear from her about her Mediterranean cruise recap. So come back next week, see Brenda in action, and hear all about her trip, learn all about it, and maybe plan your own trip to the Mediterranean. But until next week, I'm Mike. She's Sophie. That's Grogu. Remember to share a smile. And we will see you on the road. Bye.
Bye.